feel like it needs me to have profound answers. So I'm Hopolang Manko. I'm a fashion designer, clothing producer. Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. pretty much. So what that entails is that for production, basically, you would have to have the skill set of sketching. You would have to be able to be a pattern maker. You'd have to be able to sew, basically. So it goes from design to pattern making to the actual construction of the garment. So yeah, those are my skill sets, amongst other things, of course. But in terms of fashion, yeah, that's what I do. What inspired me? I was forced into fashion. I feel like life circumstances forced me into fashion. I don't have those stories where I was like, yo, I'm passionate about it. I feel like I'm passionate about creating for the most part. I mean, if I had fallen into car making, I would have probably been dope at it too, or liked it as much as I like this. As long as there's a process of creating to a finished product, Except for cooking, I don't think I would have been. I don't think I would have appreciated cooking as. But yeah. So what got me into fashion was I had a long list. I remember there was a time where I was going back to the drawing board to say, okay, this life thing is demanding, so I need to kind of make something of my life, And I had a long list of things I could potentially turn to, and so interior design was up there, fashion was up there, music was also there. Yeah, it was a very long list. So fashion was the one that was accessible in terms of funds, because I ended up running into a guy who was in fashion, and I visited his studio, started cutting for him, and then the next year, in 2016 actually, that's when I decided to go study production. So I think I'm inspired by, from my grandfather's outfits. And as you can see, I have a cardigan on, but it's denim, you know what I'm saying? So it's just putting a twist to the old aesthetic, like I think from the 60s, 50s, 60s, and then just bringing it back and mixing it up. Obviously, sometimes you make a design by mistake. Sometimes you get on the machine and you're like, that one is not working out. Maybe we can. But for the most part, it's the old stuff from the 60s, the 50s, and I just mix it up with the new things. Depending, sometimes you just wanna flex your technical skills. Sometimes you just wanna, or some. Because most of the times you work with clients, and then you find that a person would just challenge your creativity to say, I have this event, what can we do? And you're like, now I'm being challenged now. It's like an MC being called out on a microphone, you know what I'm saying? You kind of have to bring your A game. But yeah, man. I think the crisp 80s style for me is not 80s. Well, I don't discriminate the 80s, but I feel like there was a lot of activewear in the 80s, yeah. But it's 50s, 60s for sure. I think that's where I am. Well, definitely working our way into being a household name. I mean, I feel like, I think that's the ultimate goal. But for 5 years, I would say having a couple of stores, if maybe around 2-3 stores around Joburg or maybe countrywide. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'm too ambitious, we'll see. But yeah, being a household name is the ultimate goal. being a production house, being able to, because what I also do is product development. I help other brands who don't necessarily have the skills. If a person has ideas but don't have the technical skills or don't want to deal with the technicalities of making clothes, I also develop products for them. I actually have clients who are businesses. So your online stores would come to me for products. So also having that production steady where people can come in and produce and then we can move things out. And maybe we can even house their product. Yeah, that's the long-term goal. Well, for services, I'm usually on WhatsApp, that's the number one. But on Instagram, the brand is Manko_Hopolang. Then you can contact me there, start the process. I don't know if giving out my number is the ideal thing to do on this particular instant, but yeah, I think if you can catch me on Instagram, Manko_Hopolang, then I think we'd be good. You'd be able to get in touch with me for sure.